Thank you for joining me here this afternoon. We now have two tornado warnings in effect in eastern Colorado, one of them going out for portions of east central Morgan County for the Nelson area. If you're included in this tornado warning, seek shelter immediately. This includes a portion of Highway 71. That would be Highway 71 between mile markers. Let's see here. We cannot find that, unfortunately. Okay, so it's a little bit redundant for me to say that, but it does include a small section of Highway 71 there in between Brush and 9 Mile Corner. So if you're in that area driving along that highway, make sure you are getting off. A rotation would be located right in here, right? It would be to the south of Nelson, southwest of Brush. We do have a hook echo with this storm, which is indicative of inflow, so we got to watch out for that storm, obviously. And we've got another tornado warning in effect, arguably an even more concerning one for portions of Lincoln and Elbert counties. For the Pumpkin Center area, we do have a little bit of rotation trying to develop, so we'll also watch out for that. We were not expecting to see something like this today, but we have had several tornado warnings ongoing, but this is kind of the most active period we've had so far today. We've got supercells coming out of the wazoo here, so we'll continue to watch both of these storms as they continue and all of our other storms that need watching. I think that this could be the next storm here to get a tornado warning. The storm approaching Raymer looks to have some rotation here near Buckingham, so we'll look out for that. And we've got several other of these just little supercells trying to pop up here and produce tornadoes. Now, to my knowledge, we have not had any confirmed tornadoes yet today. I could be wrong, but this is probably the closest we've gotten, in my opinion. So we're going to continue to watch these, and whenever we're done covering severe weather, we are going to have ourselves a little bit of a breakdown on tropical storms, soon to be Hurricane Ernesto. So stay tuned for that if you are interested in knowing the latest details on that storm. Again, this storm near Pumpkin Center, Colorado, being our main area of concern right now, with growing rotation as it continues here. So we got to watch out for this. We really do. This is going to be, again, in the Highway 94 area. It's going to be nearing Pumpkin Center. This is actually a really, really interesting storm here. It looks like the area of rotation is almost like stationary, but moving off to the west. Definitely a pretty interesting scenario here. We can see that this storm is being awfully interesting with its movement just in general. We had a little cell merger pop up here, and that tried to kill off the rotation, but it doesn't look like it's working. All that happened is it pushed it a little further to the west. So because we're seeing features like that come out, we need everybody in the polygon to take shelter. So again, we're going to continue to watch this in the Pumpkin Center area, and then again, our storm up here southeast of Fort Morgan as well, since this is a decently populated area. Again, this includes the southwest side of Brush as well as Nelson in Colorado, so seek shelter immediately in those areas. I'm going to go ahead and pull up stream chat, so if anybody has any questions about their location, feel free to leave those down below. We'll try to answer them accurately and honestly. But yeah, these are pretty concerning storms right now, I'll be honest with you. Sorry, my face is so red. The lighting's a little weird. CC drop? Let me check. Let me look at that photo that you sent me. No, I don't think so. No. No, I doubt it. Okay. So, again, hook echo continuing there. The area of inflow, I will admit, is becoming a little bit less defined, so that could be a sign of weakening rotation, hopefully. But again, we need everybody to stay in their tornado safe spot in this area here. Look at all these lightning strikes in like a line. It's kind of weird. Wonder if that's not a glitch. So again, the storm here near Pumpkin Center is not one to play around with either. Again, if you're in this area, we need you to seek shelter immediately, away from windows and on the lowest floor possible. What's up, Goose Man? Good to see everybody here. Yeah, so this hook's kind of curling back into our storm here on the Pumpkin Center storm. This is a really weird supercell, guys. Really weird. So again, our rotation would be right over Highway 71 south of Pumpkin Center. Out there in rural portions of Lincoln County. What's up, Sean? Again, if you're just not tuning in, we got ourselves a couple of tornado warnings to watch out here in eastern Colorado. One of them being for the Brush area, and then the other one being in effect for areas like Pumpkin Center. So we're continuing to watch these. And again, after the stream, we're going to have a little bit of a breakdown for you guys on tropical storms, soon to be Hurricane Ernesto. So if you are looking forward to that, make sure to stay tuned in the stream. Yes, Tropical Storm Ernesto did just form today. But yeah, interestingly enough, Highway 71 does go through both of our tornado warnings here. So Highway 71 here is kind of a dangerous road to be on right now. If you're in eastern Colorado, I'd honestly try to avoid travel in this area right now. We have supercells just popping up all over the place, and obviously at night it's going to be harder to see tornadoes if they do develop. So honestly, I would try to avoid travel at this point if I'm in eastern Colorado, especially on like highways and interstates where you may have semis. It may get quite intense. But yeah, not only do we have tornado warnings going out, but we also have some significant flash flooding. We had a storm today that did end up producing significant wind and hail, kind of in the tri-state region of Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado here. Had some lime-sized hail and what looks to be 60-mile-an-hour damaging wind gusts. Again, we've had tons of supercells popping out today. Just look at all these guys. This line's kind of swallowing all of our supercells down here, but this one up here near brush is a little bit more discreet, so that could lead to a greater tornado potential. Really, the tornado threat only got going here because the cell merger happened. But now it is definitely in full swing. They're off on the southwest side of Brush, southeast of Nelson. Do the storms have lightning? Yes. These are some decently electrified storms, not extremely electrified, but there is some decent lightning activity with these. Yeah, I really didn't think we'd have a live stream out covering severe weather today. Obviously, we've been talking about Ernesto quite a bit, but severe weather hasn't really... We weren't expecting it to be much of an issue, but it kind of has been today. Especially in Colorado, in eastern Colorado. Okay, rotation getting quite serious here near Pumpkin Center. Or is that contamination? Hold on. No, that's definitely rotation. So we've got serious rotation trying to develop near Pumpkin Center, Colorado. And again, it could produce a rain-wrapped tornado, so don't go outside and try to look for this thing. Just get to your tornado safe spot. Again, that would be south of Pumpkin Center. And there we go. New tornado warning. Now issued. Going out... Oh, wait, never mind. Sorry. For some reason, I thought I saw another tornado warning polygon. But again, we got our storm here near Brush still. Look at that hook. A little bit of inflow. Not quite as serious as it once was, though. So again, these are pretty classic-looking supercells that we are seeing today, though. And again, the one near Pumpkin Center would be the one to watch at this point. Yeah, we can definitely see a tornado south of Pumpkin Center here. So, again, if you're in this area, we need you to seek shelter immediately. Anywhere in the warning polygon, once again, because we're seeing cell mergers nudge this rotation. The storm is just kind of moving pretty weird in general. It's moving like southwest, which is interesting. Yeah, I did hear about that North Carolina tornado was an EF3 from Debbie, which is interesting because both of the U.S. hurricane landfalls that we've had so far this year have produced significant and catastrophic tornado outbreaks. What's up, T and Dry? But yeah, Beryl, I mean, it produced an EF3 in Indiana, and Debbie produced an EF3 in North Carolina. Tornado possibly imminent. Yeah, we've been talking about that there with both of our storms, especially the one near Pumpkin Center, though. Yeah, cell merger did occur with this storm here. Again, still a little bit of rotation there. South of Pumpkin Center over Highway 71. We need you to seek shelter. Welcome back, Mr. Storm. Was an unexpected EF3 at midnight. Yeah, I mean, I did say they should have issued a tornado emergency for that, and I stand by that statement. Populated area. And then also big tornado, obviously. At night, nobody's going to see it. And And a lot of people out there in North Carolina are used to tornado warnings during the summertime from hurricanes, so, they probably didn't take it too seriously because usually nothing ever happens with them. But the one time it did happen, people weren't paying attention, and unfortunately it did end up causing, I know at least one casualty, I believe. What recording software do I use? I use OBS. Which, by the way, a good buddy of mine, Mr. Storm, informed me today, with OBS you can use scrolling text. If we take this over to the breaking news section, yeah, it was PDS. Look at this. You like the little scroll? What do you guys think? It's kind of hard to read because of the orange, but it's pretty good. I like it. But yeah. So again, rotation trying to get going south of Pumpkin Center, Colorado. It was a little bit more impressive earlier. And our storm near Brush looks a little more messy as well. So. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about more severe weather, as well as Ernesto still. But, oh yeah, kind of like Reed Timmer's live. Yeah. I mean, pretty much. Ryan Hall, Max Velocity, they all do that. So, but anyway, I guess Ryan Hall doesn't. Forget about my yapping. Tomorrow, marginal risk going out for quite a big section of the United States, actually. We're seeing that go all the way from Missouri back into Montana, down into Utah, and the Front Range of Colorado. And then we've got a secondary risk going out for parts of the Carolinas. Mainly going to be a wind threat. We could see a tornado tomorrow in the plains. We can't rule it out. And then on Wednesday as well, we're going to be talking about severe weather in Ernesto as a big marginal risk going out for the northern and central plains. Likely going to be upgraded to a slight risk. Yeah, I know the NWS has the Pumpkin Center storm moving north, and the rotation was previously, but again, that cell merger made it start to move west a little bit. Are we still on the tornado warning layout, or is it on severe warning? Pumpkin Center, like why? Interesting name. Okay, we're on the tornado warning. So again, a little bit of rotation there west of Highway 71. That's what we're watching right now to see if that's going to produce a tornado. It would be right in that area. So again, do not travel on Highway 71 right now in that region or near Brush. Yeah, it probably is just a road. I mean, or like a population center or a township. They don't really have towns out here in this area. Yeah, it's just a small population center. We've definitely talked about this region before. I remember that name. So anyway, again, I thank you all for tuning in. Good to see a lot of returning faces. Anybody new to the stream, welcome in. We do severe weather coverage almost every day. And we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Ernesto at the end of the stream as well. So if you're interested in that and the details on that, make sure to stay tuned. Probably won't be too long. We'll switch over to talking about that. What's up, Matt Prunty? But yeah, I know a lot of people are worried about Tropical Storm Ernesto. And again, we're going to break it down more later, but I want to tell you right now, there's no reason to panic unless you're in Bermuda. And again, don't panic. I mean, just be prepared, stay aware. It's nothing you've never seen before if you've lived there all your life. So again, we're watching for another possible tornado here near Brush with this storm. You never have to worry about tornadoes because they're like 1 week and only every 5 to 10 years. Storm intensifying near Raymer. Let's check that out. By the way, tornado warning just condensed for a Brush storm. No longer includes the southwest side of Brush or Nelson. It does still include a small section of Highway 71 here, so look out for that. Let's check out Raymer really quickly. Yeah, this little supercell here, we did point this out at the beginning of the stream. Again, I think if we were to get another tornado warning, it would come out of this storm, or maybe even this storm at this point near Livermore. Again, we're really just watching Colorado right now, guys. So anyway, again, we'll keep watching that for you guys. Got a severe thunderstorm warning down here in Oklahoma. I always forget that Oklahoma and Colorado technically border each other. Feels so weird to say. I don't know why. But this storm has or it did have the tornado. Or sorry, that was up in Colorado. The severe thunderstorm warning had the tornado possible tag. What am I talking about? Storm there in the Oklahoma Panhandle has been going for a while with some damaging winds and large hail, though. Yeah, good to watch out for that cell in the future if you're, like, down the line. Areas down the line of this Raymer storm would obviously be Raymer. I do think this will get a severe thunderstorm warning for Raymer, probably. Keep seeing cell mergers with this. But Raymer, I'd watch out. Everywhere else, though, I mean, it's pretty rural out here, so not too many spots to watch. Highway 52, Highway 71, once again. Both highways that kind of stretch through eastern Colorado here. I guess Highway 52 goes back into central Colorado and probably beyond that, but anyway. Good to see everybody here. Got quite the crowd tonight. We'll say the storm is very electrified in the Oklahoma Panhandle. I think it will head towards Ray. So, Ray, Colorado, that is out here. No, I think that this should stay off to the west of Ray, most of these supercells. I wouldn't be surprised to see another cell develop and maybe head towards the Ray area, but just looking at these cells right now, I don't see any of them that would be an imminent threat to Ray. But yeah, just have multiple ways to receive alerts on hand. Hello, Dotties. Debbie also produced 2 EF2 tornadoes, yeah. Yeah, it's good to see all these new viewers in here tonight. So yeah, again, none of our storms are really impressing me that much in terms of a tornado threat at this specific minute. That doesn't mean that's not going to change. But I think that soon we can switch over to Tropical Storm Ernesto coverage. Are there tornadoes in Australia? Not to my knowledge. Let's just check things out here. No, I don't see anything in Australia right now. Maybe some rain out here near the Gladstone area. No sort of tornado threat there, though. What's up, Crystal? Thank you. We are under a flood watch. Not a drop of rain all day here in Brighton, Colorado. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, summertime is obviously, I mean, you're no stranger to droughts out there, but the reason you're under that flood watch is because that flood watch is issued for a huge area. Alright, they don't just issue a flood watch for, one town or one county. I mean, if we turn on flood watches here, we can see that we have a flood watch for pretty much all of eastern Colorado. So, they're just talking about anywhere in here has the chance to see flooding. That doesn't mean you're going to. But yeah. The areas that are going to see flooding, or that are already seeing flooding, would be the bright green polygons there, the flood warnings and the flash flood warnings. And even the flood advisories, if we turn those on, we can see we have some of those. But yeah, flood watches are usually the least concerning out of the three. Flood advisories, flood watches, and flood warnings, which is interesting, because usually advisories are the lowest level of worry. But not with flood alerts. Well, was a 2%... that did not exist. There's a 2% tornado risk in that area. Yeah, NATOcast had a 2% out, the AI forecasting tool. Our county area is ridiculous. It's huge. Yeah. You said you're in Brighton, Colorado? Yeah, so, I mean, all these counties out here in the western United States are honestly pretty big, but, especially in the Rockies, because the population centers are quite low in all these areas. By the way, our storm in Morgan County has caused some significant power outage numbers. Now, that does not mean that it's producing a tornado, but likely producing damaging winds is what caused this significant number of power outages here. We already have over 400 customers in the county without power, mostly coming from brush, and Nelson, most likely. Storm rotating from more from boundary near Cheyenne, Colorado. Whoops. By the way, if you're new here, feel free to like and subscribe. It's not required, but it does help out the channel. I don't even see a town called Cheyenne, Colorado. Am I just blind? Or are you talking about Cheyenne, Wyoming? Because I do see a boundary there. Yeah, if you're talking about this, yeah, that's, is definitely true. So again, 2 tornado warnings now, going out in eastern portions of Colorado. This storm is done near brush in terms of a tornado threat. It's going to continue to produce damaging winds and large hail, but it's not going to produce a tornado. Or a land spout even, probably. No, you're good. And I could almost say the same thing about our Pumpkin Center storm here. There's like no rotation left. So continue to stay in your safe spot just to be safe. That's why they call it a safe spot. But soon we can probably give you the all clear. But again, we're not going to do that until the National Weather Service does. Strong supercell developing near Raymer, Colorado. Yeah, so that's, again, the one that we've referenced several times here. It's been trying to rotate, but it's been failing for the most part. It needs, like, a cell merger or something, a boundary to interact with, really anything to increase its potential. But whenever that potential does increase just even a little bit, it's going to get pretty nasty out there pretty quick. And again, that storm's likely already producing very large hail and some damaging wind gusts as well. What's up, everybody? Good to see all these new and familiar faces tonight again. I mean, we have a decent crowd out, so thank you guys all for tuning in. Need to update the warning counter here. Give me 1 second. Whoops, I didn't even put the 1 on there. Meant to throw a 1 on there. What? I keep typing 1, but it's not doing anything. There. Yeah, we're just watching some supercells pop up that are trying to produce tornadoes in eastern Colorado but are failing. And then in a couple minutes here, I think we're going to start talking about Tropical Storm Debbie and everything that you need to know about it. Give me just a second here. Did I say Debbie? I meant Ernesto. I think I said Ernesto. I do that with every system, though. Like, with Debbie, I was calling it Beryl, and with Ernesto, I'm calling it Debbie. And then whatever the F name is, I don't remember. I may be calling it Ernesto. I wasn't calling Debbie Chris, because Chris wasn't anything significant, but we talked a lot about Beryl, so I kept on calling it Beryl over and over again. Okay. Mr. Storm, I just messaged you if you want to check that out. Yeah, if you're still tuned in the stream, I don't know if you are, but I assume you are. I did say Debbie? Okay. you all for tuning in. Again, we have such a big crowd here now. I don't even know why. We're just covering some supercells here in Colorado. Again, some of these are trying to put tornadoes down. And then in a couple minutes here, we're going to switch over to Tropical Storm Ernesto and talk about that. So... thank you all that have been watching this entire stream. We're not ending off here, I just wanted to say that. Alrighty. So I think we're going to switch over to Tropical Storm Debbie coverage here within the next couple minutes, since our tornado warnings are about to expire. Cheyenne Storm looks very interesting, still broad. But some strong velocities coming together. I don't know why, I just got a cold chill. If you saw me do that, that's why. Yeah, definitely. We may have some sort of microburst trying to happen. Alrighty. Our storm southwest of Cheyenne now got a special weather statement. And this cell near Raymer has been trying for so long to produce a tornado, but it's just not doing it. No sort of rotation there. But I do want to let you all know in Brush, I know you just got hit by that storm. You're about to get hit by another one, so get ready. Or I guess this could go off to the east of Brush, but there's a chance in the next couple hours you'll get hit by another storm. It's moving pretty slow, though, so. Alrighty. Only one tornado warning left. They did remove this one here for the Pumpkin Center area. And now, this one here near Brush should expire within the next minute. So again, we're going to switch over to Tropical Storm Debbie coverage here in just a second. We're not going to end stream or anything, we're just going to keep it going, but change the title and thumbnail. Change the layout here, because again, I have that Tropical Storm Debbie, I have to stop doing that. Tropical Storm Ernesto slide prepared. If you hear me say Debbie, I want you guys to kill me. No, I want you guys to yell at me in chat, though, seriously. Alright, no tornado warnings anymore. Not even any severe thunderstorm warnings anymore. Okay. So, I'm going to switch over to Debbie coverage here. I believe... I called it Debbie again. Holy crap, I gotta stop doing that. Ernesto. I believe my buddy, Mr. Storm, is working on a thumbnail here, so whenever he sends me that, we'll get going here. Thank you to Mr. Storm for that. No, I'm not going to end stream. Kevin, I don't know if you're just now tuning in, but we are going to switch over to Ernesto coverage here within the next couple minutes. So again, if anybody is interested in that, make sure to stay tuned. So again, we'll get going here in just a minute. Okay, drill, smiley face. Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry. going to say we're not going to be live for, 3 hours straight covering Ernesto, but if you guys have any questions, make sure to ask those. Because that is what this stream is now all about. So let's do this. So again, if you're just now tuning in, we are about to start covering Tropical Storm Ernesto. Yeah, I pointed that out earlier, B-Dog. I was saying Beryl during Debbie. Now I'm saying Debbie during Ernesto. Alrighty. They did issue a mesoscale discussion for parts of Colorado, eastern Colorado, southwest Kansas, southeast Colorado, southwest Kansas, northeast New Mexico, the western Oklahoma Panhandle, and the northwest Texas Panhandle. Convection has organized into a few MCSs capable of some damaging wind gusts this evening. I wouldn't rule out a supercell or two either. 20% chance of a severe thunderstorm launch for that area between now and the next hour and a half. Or no, it'd be the next half hour here. Sorry. Get my time zones mixed up. I think that Mr. Storm should be working on a thumbnail here. Again, thank you to him. But we're going to switch the title over here to Tropical Storm Ernesto coverage. I got it right that time. Should not be that proud of that, but I am. Alrighty. So, let's change the title here. Okay. So, chat, I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom really quickly. And when I get back, we'll get into Ernesto coverage. So, stay tuned, and I will be right back. So, stay with me here. Thank you for joining me here. We are here now for Tropical Storm Ernesto coverage. Right now, Tropical Storm Ernesto is a storm with sustained winds of 40 miles per hour and gusts up to 50 miles per hour, heading off to the west, about to impact portions of the Antilles and Puerto Rico. So, in this stream, we're going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about this system. So, if you're just now tuning in, that's what we're doing. If you're still here from when we were doing severe weather coverage just a couple minutes ago, we're switching over to Debbie coverage officially now. So, sorry. Gotta catch my breath already. Thank you, Matt Prunty. Yeah, it's been crazy recently. I don't know why I ran out of breath already. So, Tropical Storm Ernesto. Going to head northwestward eventually making some sort of Bermuda impact as a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane. Now, will we see a direct landfall? Possibly. Are we going to see a major hurricane landfall? Probably not. Are we going to see a major hurricane by the time frame that it gets near Bermuda? Possibly. Now, right now, the National Hurricane Center is saying that we are going to be dealing with a high-end Category 2 hurricane slamming Bermuda. We're going near Bermuda, right? So that is obviously a huge concern. All right, Bermuda is not the most populated area in the world, and they've dealt with hurricanes worse than this before. But it's been a minute, so if you're in Bermuda, just remember your hurricane evacuation plans. Know where you're going to go. Know what you're going to bring. We are expecting a landfall sometime this weekend, likely on Saturday morning or afternoon. Still a little early to tell, though. So make sure that you know the latest information for your area. Just a second here. I just got a new thumbnail from Mr. Storm. Again, thank you for sending me that. Fortunately, I can't change it through mobile. It's a little annoying. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Gonna bring this off the screen real quick. And okay, I know this is a little interesting. Give me just a second. I promise you I know what I'm doing. Okay, airdrop. Give me 1 second here. Can't change it through mobile, so I have to change it through my computer, but I don't want to show you guys my screen. I don't want to accidentally reveal any personal information, like my password or something, to my YouTube channel. Not trying to get hacked today. By the way, we are 1 subscriber off of 1,400, so please, if you can, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That would help me out so much. It'd be amazing. I love all you guys. I thank you all for being here. I just airdropped the photo. What do you mean? It's just I don't have it. Okay. So, thumbnail courtesy of Mr. Storm. Thank you, once again. Okay, now I've got to bring this on. I don't remember exactly. It was like this. And then 1 pixel down. There we go. We did it. Okay. So here we go. There we go. There's my YouTube studio. If anybody was wondering, I did that all so that I wouldn't reveal any personal information. Hopefully I didn't there. I don't think I did. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. We are seriously going to get going with Ernesto coverage. Now, I'm so sorry. I've said it like 50 times. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. That sucks. You have to get up at 7. School starting for me. You know what? I'm gonna call up Mr. Storm here, see if he wants to help cover this. So let's see what happens here. I don't know if he'll want to help me or not, but we'll see. Holy crap, this is taking way too long to get going. I'm so sorry, guys. I've said like 50 times now. Okay, we're gonna start Ernesto coverage. I might as well have just ended stream and started a new one 5 minutes later. Okay, so again, we talked about the NHC's track here for Ernesto. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the models here. If we take a look at the GFS model. Oh, there's Mr. Storm. So anyway, this is the GFS model. We can see that again. Ernesto is looking quite impressive now. It's starting to almost develop an eye already, which is interesting. But it's going to get even more impressive. By the time we wake up tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty good-looking system there as it beelines towards the Antilles. Again, probably around 4, 5 a.m. tomorrow, we'll see a landfall there in the Antilles. Puerto Rico will probably be dealing with this thing, especially in the eastern part of the island, kind of Wednesday morning around 1, 2 a.m. And then it'll continue to push north here. And eventually, it'll make its way towards Bermuda once again. The GFS here has it taking a very interesting track just off to the west of Bermuda, it says, which is interesting because the National Hurricane Center says east of Bermuda. Don't pay too close attention here to the specific intricacies like that. Just know it's going to go very close to Bermuda if it doesn't go over Bermuda. But you can see the GFS has this looking like a textbook hurricane at this point. Very beautiful eye. And obviously got those textbook outer bands there, but alright, the GFS has this continuing to push northward, becoming even a little bit stronger, impacting Nova Scotia and the island of Newfoundland as maybe a weak hurricane at that point. So, let's go ahead and bring up the model intensity guidance on your screen here. Before I do that, Mr. Storm, you got anything to say?
Yeah, so Ernesto is going to be one of those hurricanes that will end up impacting a few people, but it won't be any concerns to the United States. So right now, that because we know that it's going to impact somebody, we need to talk about the short term. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for the northern islands of the Lesser Antilles, and then you've got portions of the Greater Antilles. I believe all of Puerto Rico is under a tropical storm warning. So we're expecting a technical landfall late Tuesday morning in the Lesser Antilles, and then it'll kind of continue to move its way to the west, and it will start to make that northern turn, which will spare the United States from getting hit. Davis, I don't know if you're planning on doing this, but I would look at the ensemble runs because we get a little bit fuzzy with, where exactly the storm's going to go by the time it gets over towards Bermuda. But as of right now, Bermuda, this storm seems to be looking like it's going to go right over you as of the latest kind of uncertainty from the National Hurricane Center. So obviously that is subject to change. But this could be a really bad situation for Bermuda, and obviously we'll have to see what's going to happen to places like Atlantic Canada, Newfoundland, or perhaps even Nova Scotia.
Yeah, so this is the GFS ensemble here that Mr. Strom was talking about. These are the GFS ensembles. You can see that a couple of these actually have this going all the way over to, eastern Maine, and that's a pretty unlikely scenario. It's not completely impossible, but it's quite unlikely. So we're thinking that this stays out again towards the Bermuda area, eventually impacting Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. And again, a lot of them have it taking that general track, maybe even to the east of those areas. So again, the worst case scenario for the United States, the only possible way that I could see a U.S. Event unfold here, a U.S. problem unfold here, is if Ernesto does take one of these odd runs here, one of these tracks, and does somehow make landfall in eastern Maine. And that's a possibility, it is. Again, we can't completely rule it out, and it could be a strong system at that point, maybe even a hurricane still, so that'd be something to look out for. Again, we can't completely say that you're out of the water if you're in eastern Maine, but it's not looking likely that you're going to see any sort of impacts at this point. So if we take a look at the intensity guidance, we can see that a lot of the models here, or a lot of the members rather, are kind of split. We don't really have much agreement at all. We have a small group saying that maybe it'll be a mid-range Category 2. We have some pushing it to Category 3. We have some only pushing it to Cat 1. We have some saying it'll only be a tropical storm. So there is almost no agreement here on what's going to happen, but we can see the general trend that it's going to be at its strongest point within the next, kind of in a few days from now, right? And again, the most likely scenario, in my opinion, would be somewhere from mid-range Cat 2 to mid-range Cat 3 for it to be its most intense point, right? So I think it'll definitely become a hurricane and possibly a major hurricane. I'd give it like a 35% chance. Just don't have enough confidence yet, but that is the intensity guidance. Let's see here. What else should I bring up? You think of anything that I should bring up on stream?
Maybe the European ensemble.
Yeah. So here we go with that. This one odd member here, or model here, pushing it. What am I saying? Pushing it all the way to central Maine. That's not going to happen. It has it making landfall in Cape Cod. That is really interesting. But you can see that is just one little spaghetti noodle here, I guess you could say. All the others have it going way off to the east of that, way off. All right. East of Nova Scotia, even, most of them are pushing it. Most of them are even saying southeast of Newfoundland, which would be interesting. So they're saying that almost nobody other than Bermuda gets impacted by this at all, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
This is what Ernesto looks like right now in the infrared satellite. can see quite a bit of convection getting going. I will say it is a little bit messy, honestly. But I think we're going to see that organized here over the next several hours. By the time we wake up, I think we're going to have a decent-looking system. Let's see here. If we look at the SSTs, my goodness, guys. I mean, it is just absolutely baking out here. The entirety of the area that Ernesto is going to be traveling through is going to be above average temperature-wise. At least 1 or 2 degrees, pretty much. So it shouldn't have any problems with that. The wind shear out in this area is going to be limited. So again, that's going to allow for this to maybe undergo rapid intensification and become a relatively strong system here. And I mean, it's not going to go to the Gulf, but I just want to point this out. Look at the Gulf right now. I mean, it is so hot in the Gulf right now. If we get a system to go through there, we could have a serious problem. If something like that happens within the next few weeks, that would honestly be one of the worst case scenarios that we could possibly have this year. But you can see right now, just in general, this is the 7-day change. Not a lot of change happening in general. Some spots are getting slightly warmer, some are getting slightly cooler. But in general, it's kind of a warming trend here as we are approaching peak hurricane season, obviously.
Yeah. So as of right now, for Bermuda, sustained winds of 110 miles per hour are expected with gusts up to 130. So you're going to get Category 3 force wind gusts. Not sustained winds, but wind gusts. So really intense winds and just, bad damage is expected from Bermuda. Obviously, we have to see what is going to change from the National Hurricane Center's forecast. I think it's going to start to tighten up a little bit, so I think we're closing in on the final days of really figuring out exactly where this thing's going to go.
Yeah, 100%. Again, right now, I mean, whenever it makes its most northern landfall, wherever that's going to be, right? I mean, it could be anywhere right now, kind of from eastern Maine to eastern Newfoundland, We can't rule out a landfall anywhere in that area. Nova Scotia is not out of the question, Atlantic Canada is not out of the question. Newfoundland isn't out of the question. Eastern Maine isn't even out of the question. And if we do see like an eastern Maine landfall, I mean, we will cover it live, or I know at least I will, and I'll try to cover it significantly, because it is going to be a pretty strong system at that point, at least according to a lot of our models here right now. The GFS is saying that it could be maybe even a Cat 2, maybe even a Cat 3 hurricane at that point. So, again, if we were to see something like that in eastern Maine, that would be historic, because it does not usually get that bad up there, obviously, even in peak hurricane season most years. But, again, with the SSTs just being so high above average, it's just ridiculous. I mean, especially up here, they're like 3-4 degrees Celsius above average in the North Atlantic here. Which is really interesting in some spots. And we do see a system try to develop out here in the Pacific, according to the GFS model, in a couple of weeks. So that'd be something to look out for. But yeah. So if anybody has any questions, make sure to leave those down below. But if not, I think we can probably end off here soon. We've been live for almost an hour now, covering both severe weather in Colorado and Tropical Storm Ernesto here. I said it right this time.
Be sure to like the stream, subscribe to Davis.
Yeah, again, we're literally one subscriber off from 1.4 thousand, so somebody could subscribe. That'd obviously be a huge help. Also, go subscribe to Mr. Storm. I don't know why I said Mr. Storm like that, but I did. I don't know if I can do that, Sam, on Omega.
Check Tropical Tidbits. They have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that on Omega. What am I talking about? section it's under here. Well, we'll just bring it up here on Tropical Tidbits. So the peak 10-second wind so far has been 17 knots, which obviously isn't super impressive, but they are not done yet, so we'll see if that changes. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat, so I think we might start to wrap up here.
Yeah.
It seems like most people were actually here for severe weather coverage today, which is usually not the case. It's usually the hurricane stuff that gets people interested.
Yeah.
What did I just do? Okay. Speaking of the severe weather, we do now have almost 900 customers in Morgan County, Colorado without power after that significant tornado warning storm did rip through. And we've got another storm entering the county, too, as a special weather statement, so that'll probably tack on again. In total, we'll probably have about 1,000 customer outages there in Morgan County. And there's flash flooding ongoing, so it's going to take them a while to get those all restored. Significant flash flooding ongoing. So anyway, we'll have more updates on Ernesto in the coming days, but I think we're going to end off here. Mr. Storm, any final comments?
Just don't be scared, be prepared if you happen to be out there in the Antilles or in the Bermuda. So we will be sure to keep you guys posted on whatever is going to be happening with Ernesto. We do have a lot of cams in Bermuda, so it'd be pretty interesting to see, what conditions are looking like as our hurricane comes through. So, once again, if you're in Maine, if you're in Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, you don't need to be worried about anything right now. You just need to pay close attention to the forecast, especially if you're towards Newfoundland or Nova Scotia. Maine, it's a very low chance you're going to get hit. It's not completely impossible, but that's pretty much all I got to say.
Yeah. So, anyway, thank you all for tuning in to this live stream, and we will see you all in the next one.